Okay, going to show you how to edit your ARoll, or your interview and narration of your package. So first you put your narration into your timeline.
Track 1 and 3, 2, 1.
And trim and cut out the countdown.
At GHS has turned into a blood donation center. The students and staff at GHS roll up their sleeves to save lives in the community. Mrs. Wolford and her students lead the charge supporting the Red Cross.
You edit the narration. I messed up there, so
Wolford and her students lead the charge supporting the Red Cross blood drive.
So I wait to find the new section. I go back to what I'm going to cut out. You can highlight the section in the text and press delete.
To save lives in the community. Mrs. Wolford and her students lead the charge.
And I'm going to shorten up that gap so that there is less space in there.
To save lives in the community. Mrs. Wolford and her students lead the charge supporting the Red Cross blood drive.
Okay, so knowing my script, I'm going to edit that. I go look at my script and I look for where I had Mrs. Wolford's soundbite, the time code. That's why we leave the time in there, and we look at the words. So we go back and we find Mrs. Wolford's interview, double click on it, pull down text, and we find the time that corresponds. You might have to scroll around and look. I wasn't looking correctly, so refer to the time, and then during that time you can find your narration. I have to go back and look and double check, make sure I have it. Here we go. Highlight all the section that I want. And once I have it chosen and it's highlighted blue, you press comma and it will insert it into your narration track.
Blood drive.
I think it's my 5th or 6th year helping host the blood drive.
And there you go. You just double check your edit, make sure that it is correct.
It's so awesome to see them come sacrifice part of their day and help others. And I have a passion for the human body, and so if we can save lives that way, I want to be able to help.
There's a gap there, so I'll need to trim that. So I scroll back a little bit. If you press B, or the ripple edit tool, click on that, you can drag and trim the beginning of the clip and it will slide the rest of the clip over. And after each edit, you should always listen to it.
Time to donate. Students and staff lay down, give up their arms, and sit back and wait for their pint to fill up. Each pint of blood can save up to 3 lives. Mrs. Wolford says they were able to collect 55 units of blood, saving more than 50.
So I made a mistake, and again, you can find the spot where you mess up, press Control K. I'm going to trim out the part where I messed up.
Wait for their pint to fill up. Mrs. Wolford says they were able to collect 55 units of blood, which will save more than 150 lives.
I want to make sure I cut that properly.
Each pint of blood can save up to 3 lives.
There we go. I trimmed out too far, so if I use B, and I will trim it down to that new spot.
Mrs. Wolford says they were able to collect 55
Listen
units
to the
of
edit.
blood, which will save more than 150 lives. She says there are plenty of reasons you might want to take some time out of your day and make a donation.
Okay, I know I redid that part, so I'm going to listen to it again.
She says there are plenty of reasons.
Going to cut there, trim, and really this is just finding the right spots of your narration and
Take some
leaving
time
those.
out of your day and make a donation.
This is where my next interview needs to come. Control K, create a split there.
Okay, and make a donation. So if you're interested in helping next year, email Mrs. Wolford and find out how to take part.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my script, and there we go. Make sure that I have the script, find the right section.
Save more than 150 lives. She says there are plenty of reasons you might want to take some time out of your day and make a donation.
Okay, put my playhead where I want my next interview to go. Double click on Mrs. Wolford's narration or her interview, click on text, and go find what she talked. 12:15 to 12:43, this is right after where I already had the interview for, so I'm going to just look for the text. I look for where I have her start, and I just highlight what she says. It went too far, so I just need to be careful. Highlight what I want, press comma, and it will insert her clip. I double check my edits.
Day and make a donation.
So it's a great sort of team bonding experience, I think. It's a great way for our school to help the community. And some students sign up with friends, and so you get to miss part of class, you get a free snack, and you get to spend some time with friends. And like I said, you can save up to 3 lives with one donation, and it's really an easy thing to do.
So if you're interested in helping next year, email Mrs. Wolford and find out how
Just listen to the rest of your track, make any edits that you need. This is my
Is open in
conclusion.
Goshen, right across the street from the junior high. Or you can wait until this fall's blood drive, which will be in November. Reporting for GTV, I'm Brian Sapp.
Trim off the ending, and I am done. And that's it for your ARoll, for your interview and narration.